and see if there's anything we can go back and readdress and fix some of those problems.
All right, thank you. All right, our third question. What is your plan for the economic growth of your city? And again, begin with Shannon Hills and Mike Kemp.
Well, we're already planning. We're not waiting for the election to be over with, I can tell you that. And that was one of the big problems whenever I came into office 4 years ago. There wasn't much planning. Since I've come into office, we brought in $1.3 million, actually more than $1.3 million worth of grants. That's more than all the prior mayors in the history of the town. We are getting ready now to pave 18 streets. It's the largest road improvement project ever in the history of the city of Shannon Hills. We just opened the bids last week on phase 2 of our new park. That park was built during my first term here as mayor of Shannon Hills. And we're also going to open bids Monday on Shannon Hills' first jogging track. We're soon going to be starting construction on a sidewalk along County Line Road so that more of our children can walk or ride their bikes to school. We're also in the process of preparing to build our 3rd fire station. It'll be the largest one ever in our city. We're the 7th fastest growing town in the state of Arkansas, and we've got to be ready for what's coming.
Thank you, and Mr. Russell from Bauxite.
One of the things that's so important for Bauxite, when we see Benton on one side and Bryant on the other, both of them are growing. One of the difficulties in Bauxite is that Alcoa owns a lot of that land. And so we're going to improve basically the knowledge of all the land that we got, who owns it, how we can acquire it, how can we bring people in. So one of the first things that I would do is begin to search out businesses that might be willing to move to Bauxite. It'll help with our revenue situation in Bauxite. But growth is so very, very important. We as a city need to be in a mode of growth, wanting to grow. We just can't sit back and just wait for anything just to happen, because I think that if we don't have a vision for growth for our city, we'll become stagnant. And that's not good for our children and our grandchildren.
Thank you. All right, Brian, we begin with Jill Dabbs.
Economic development is very important to our city, because that's what sustains our tax base, that we operate our city, that we pay for our streets and our public safety and our parks with. One of the things that we can really do, and we're starting to do this more throughout our county, is collaboration with SCDC, the Saline County Economic Development Committee. They've put in place a plan in Vision 2020, and there's mayors across the county that are, some of them are here tonight, that are embracing that and working alongside with them and the Chambers of Commerce for economic development. Another thing that we can do at the local level that's very important, and we have started this in Bryant, is building better streets, building streets to drive economic development to our city. People are looking for places that have a great quality of life. They're going to pick where they live, and then they're going to start their businesses and raise their families. And we have a blank canvas in Bryant in a lot of ways, and we can learn from what other cities have done. As a growing city, we're going to continue to lay down new streets, and this economic development needs to be the driving force behind that every single time, in regards to how those streets are built, where they're put in, and how that connectivity is achieved.
Thank you. Mr. Henley?
Economic development here in Bryant has went really well in the past 10 years. We've doubled almost in population. We've done really well. I think we've got to continue that by doing the connector streets. We have to look at our parks, make sure that they're kept up to date, because people move here with their children. We've got a great school system. The people I talk to tell me that's what drives them to come to Bryant. A lot of them work out of town, so we've got to be able to get them in and out of town efficiently and make it a place that they want to be and they want to live and be a hometown.
Thank you. And Mr. Cox?
As I stated earlier, I will bring a comprehensive business plan to the city and to the council. Part of that comprehensive business plan will be working with the Chamber of Commerce, the current businesses, and the school system, as well as look at the freight that's going up and down our interstate system every day right through Bryant, and find out what freight they're hauling, where they're hauling it from, where they're hauling it to, and start visiting with those customers and see what their plans are for the future, and let them know about this great city and the hidden diamonds in the areas that we have in our city and how we can bring their business to our city to further our growth, to further our funding, to be able to keep up with our rapid growth. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll move to Haskell, and we'll begin with Jamie Watson-Burton.
Haskell is a small city, but it's definitely growing. I want to make sure that it continues to progress and continues to grow economically. And one of the ways to do that is by keeping our streets up to date, keeping all of our parks, everything we have up to date to entice people to move out there. Our school system is one of the best that you can have around here, and people move out there just to take their kids to school out there. So the neighborhoods are popping up, you know, the population is going up. We have our own grocery store and own Fred's out there now. So I hope that we can get some more small businesses and you know, small town businesses are what drives those communities. Their taxes come into our system, and we get to use those to go back and invest in the community and further the development of it and just keep on with the growth and the progression of our city. We've got to have those people in there with those businesses.
Thank you. And Jamie Lyman.
Because of the half-cent sales tax is dedicated to the roads, as mayor, I will make a separate line on our budget to ensure that all the funds that we receive from that money will go to the streets of the city of Haskell. I would also like to have pocket parks, green areas throughout the community. Doesn't have to be large, of beautification programs somewhere you could sit and rest or just sit. We have a lot of potential in Haskell. We would welcome any business that will come there. I also feel like that we need a stronger code enforcement policy to ensure that people will want to come to Haskell and live there in that neighborhood. We also need a stronger animal control. We don't currently have a full-time animal control person.
All right, thank you. Last question before our break, and we'll again begin with Mayor Kemp. What is the best way to resolve disagreements between city council members and move the city forward?
Well, I'm happy to say that we haven't had that much of a problem with that in the last couple of years, because we've got a good group of folks working together there in Shannon Hills now, and all can see the common sense in the proposals that we've set forth, and we've got a good team going together. But I would encourage everyone to always, talk and work through their differences and negotiate and come to some sort of compromise that still suits the purpose, but don't compromise so much that it gives away the farm. And, try to stick to your principles and just do the best that you can for your city. We open every session with a prayer, and we count on the fellow upstairs to guide us.
Thank you. Mr. Russell, Dockside.
I also believe in the power of prayer, that it's very, very imperative that we acknowledge God in the midst of our city. The things that are coming down as far as the nation goes, there's so many things happening, so many changes that's taking place now, that it's imperative that we acknowledge God in what we have. As far as the relationships goes, it begins with a relationship with the Lord, and also to basically treat people as you would yourself. In other words, they're so important, the people are so important, and they're our major resource of our city. The council, men and women, and our council and the mayor have to show leadership as far as our interpersonal relationships and professionalism. If that doesn't happen, it permeates out into the streets and makes for just a bad environment.
All right. Move to Bryant. Mr. Hindley.
I think it's very important to have a mayor that works with the council and actually able to give them all the information they need to make decisions. being on the council for the past 6 years, I've worked with multiple mayors, and I understand the needs of the council and the role of the executive branch. That's one reason I went to school to get my degree, and to be able to understand how the government is supposed to work in those aspects. Whenever you actually have them working in their roles, I believe that the issues will resolve themselves out, and you won't have those issues. The legislative branch can do what they need to do, and the executive branch can do what they need to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Cox?
I believe it starts with teamwork, and I believe it starts at the top. And I believe that you take responsibility when things go right, and you take responsibility when things go wrong. And you got to communicate with your city council, your commissioners, your department heads, your committees, and your employees. The employees are the biggest asset that we have in our city. And I feel like that there's a lack of communication back down to the people that are out there on the streets that are the representation of Bryant. And again, I've worked through multiple administrations in the fire service and that, and I feel like that I can work with anyone. I think I proved that in 2008 when we had Operation Flood Relief, and I took control of the city under the control of the council, under the direction of the council, and we worked as a team, as Team Bryant. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dabbs?
One of the best ways to work as a team is to act like a team. If you have a question, call somebody. Call me. Ask me a question. Don't send a FOIA into the city of Bryant for information that you can pick up the phone and call somebody for. We're going to have a strategic planning meeting with council at the beginning of January this year if I'm to be reelected, just like we attempted to have in 2012. In that meeting, the clerk will be a big part of that. We will also work with the Municipal League. I will encourage all of the council to become municipally certified. I became municipally certified municipal official over the course of the last 4 years. That training at the Municipal League would benefit the city of Bryant so much if our elected officials would go as a team and work together to receive that training. Great teams get trained together, they work together, they break bread together, and they laugh together. And they're not looking for gotcha moments. They're not looking for opportunities to make one another look bad in the media. I've never done that. And they really work to take care of the city's business without creating a negative headline or a gotcha moment. And that's how we should work together as this local city government.
Thank you. And we'll begin with Haskell. I'm losing track. I think Jamie. Yeah.
We have a very strong city council in Haskell. I'm not saying that they always agree with each other, but they have the right to disagree. They have a right to ask questions. And I have to say that we don't have a lot of discord between the members. We're all together as one to make city of Haskell the best that it can be. We don't come in there with a personal agenda. We're there to serve the cities. So some of our meetings might be considered rather dull as compared to some of the others. They actually do get along. They ask questions. They call and ask. And they're a very strong member. And I always remind the citizens of Haskell, it is your city council that approves the policies that the mayor is to enforce.
Thank you. And Jamie, Ms. Bird.
I've been attending the city council meetings for the past year or so, and like Jamie said, our council members work very good together. Occasionally there is a disagreement about something, but we normally get it worked out right there in the meeting. I hope to be the person that can lead those meetings and keep everybody on track, keep them focused, keep them asking questions and understanding, but keep them working together and making sure that our city is progressing and not being held back by one person that disagrees. I mean, most of the time when you stick to your principles and do what's right, then the truth is going to come out and the right thing's going to happen at that moment.
All right, thank you all. All right, we've reached a break, so we're going to take a 10-minute break. It's a chance for y'all to visit personally with the candidates. If you so desire, or go to the restroom or stretch your legs or whatever. It is 7:06, so we'll resume about 7:15, 7:16. Thank you.